and say something controversial, that no one needs to teach you to manifest. That there are no techniques. You don't need to learn to manifest. You are a manifestation. You are a manifestation of the awareness of what your frequency looks like as it is enclosed in a human meat suit. And everything from your demographics to your eye color, like all of that is a manifestation of your awareness that is applied by way of consciousness, and consciousness being all, being the absolute, being the total, being the formless, that out of that infinite consciousness, there is an awareness that looks like you. So no one needs to teach you to manifest. You are a manifestation. My name is Lucien Francois Mateo St. James, and I appreciate you for co-creating this moment with me in transmission for today's episode of the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. All transmissions are brought to you by and courtesy of the Electric Temple. I'm here to encourage you in knowing with empowered conviction the truth of your transcendent divinity, to live as the power that you already are, to live as the love that you already are. You are an individualized expression of all that can be. You are the all that is. And if you don't need to learn to manifest, then why does life look like probably not the way that you wanted? I mean, I would imagine that you wouldn't be watching this video if you had everything that you wanted. No one needs to teach you to manifest, because we are manifesting all the time. Meaning that there's a field around you that, and I call it, there's multiple ways of talking about it. I'm not saying that the field is the field is the absolute, is the only, is the total. That's my language, and I might change that language tomorrow. But what I mean by field is that there is a collection of energy around you, that you are vibrating in resonance with a certain, with the content of your ideas, with the content of your heart, with the predominant feeling spaces of your heart, what you think to be true about the world, what you're certain on, on, of, in, whatever, but what you're certain of, and how you generally feel about the things that you're certain of. Concerning the world, concerning other people, concerning yourself, most significantly concerning yourself. And that's what you're seeing, quote unquote, pushed out. That's what you're seeing on the screen of your awareness, living as the created, the creator, and the act of creation. So no one needs to teach you to manifest. However, your attention being the point of your localized focus, and a lot of the problem is that for most of us, our focus is so scattered between so many different things. We're probably looking at life and it feels like a scattering of things. And that's just a reflection of where your attention has been, that it hasn't been on one specific thing, that it hasn't been on a state, like that your predominant state is probably stress, fear, and scarcity, because that is what we are programmed to embody. That there's this just idea, this human idea that is a prehistoric idea of, what if there's not enough? And then you have the agents of the world, you have the news media and NPCs and all this other stuff deliberately then attempting to program you with that idea that there's not enough, so that your attention is just on there not being enough. And it seems as though, okay, then I have to reprogram my subconscious mind. There's validity to that. I think everything in this spiritual space, like there's nothing I've learned that is being directly detrimental, I would say. So wherever you're at, whoever you're learning from, if it's working, great. If it's not, take what resonates, as the tarot card readers say, and leave the rest. I don't necessarily, my understanding is not that we need to reprogram the subconscious mind, because the only now moment, because that's essentially operating under an idea that there's this past that is looming over you, and that past is controlling your present state. And because your present state is controlled by the past, then the future looks like that past, but you're living it all now. So, I mean, it's not necessarily that it's fully wrong. I just think that, like, for me, when I was learning that, I was like, well, God, that's daunting. How long and how much, and how do I know if I reprogram my subconscious mind, if I impressed it well enough so that I could, then get the stuff that I want. And then I learned it's really not about the stuff. It's about the state. It's about the person. It's about the who has the stuff. And then the stuff will come, or better stuff will come. You probably don't even really know what you want because you're not in the state of the person that would have those things. But I digress. I'm not getting into that. My point about the subconscious mind being that, and Bashar talks about this, we have the opportunity to choose what we want our experience to be now, that past has no more control. Like, we essentially just keep like reliving the same moment over and over and over again because we keep ascribing the same state of I am. We keep ascribing the same state of understanding over and over and over again. So it looks like we're living the same life over and over, and that we're living the same life because it's due to this past, but it's really because we've never disrupted the pattern of what we believe that past to be, because every moment is a new now moment. It's always happening now. The only thing happening is now. So it's you deciding to interrupt that pattern of the past and rip it out of yourself and decide, I'm under no obligation to continue consenting to that. I don't have to continue, playing this appearance of a linear tape, and that this appearance of linear tape is what's controlling my future. Oh, I was treated a certain way in the past, and that wired in this belief, and now that belief is in my subconscious mind. Like, you've simply just replayed it so many times over and over and over in a continuous way that it now seems to be a part of you. You can interrupt that pattern. You don't have to continue assigning that to yourself, especially if you know when it happened and where it came from. I mean, most people, like, I have these limiting beliefs, and I just don't know how to get rid of them. Stop consenting to them. Stop giving them your attention. And when you give them your attention, that attention is then going to come with this emotional association, and the attention, the focus, along with that emotional association, is going to create a field. That field then is going to look like what you put in it, which, if that's reminiscent of the past, then the past seems to be continuing. It seems to be, why do I keep seeing this? And here's the thing, is that when you do decide anew what your new state is, the old script will continue to play out. I don't like the idea like the old script is going to test you. I don't like that. Again, so here's the thing, I don't knock anybody's teachings or anybody's understanding of how, because I don't think that there's like, I would never dare to assert that like what I have to say is the only thing that is out there and that is valid and that matter. I mean, I think everything, because all pieces are a part of the whole, and the whole is made of pieces of everything, of this whole absolute. I mean, everything here has its own validity. I just don't personally like the idea that, the universe or the old script is going to test you, because I'm like, well, for what? Like, I already lived that hell. I already lived that hell for X amount of years or X amount of whatever it was. And like, now I'm being like tested to see like if I really have released myself from, like, that's stupid. I hate that. And like, that was like really depressing for me during my mid-20s. So I don't assign that idea. But what I do, what I've come to understand, is that the 3D is dead. And that's one of the 8 keys to the initiation of your afterlife. I would suggest you watch that video, because here you are. The 3D is already dead. Like, by the time that everything in your field coalesces to materialize in your world, that's already dead. That's already done. You can't do anything about that script. You can internally assign a new script to yourself, or if you like it, then say, hey, love this, keep it up. Of course it's that way because that's who I am. But you can't do anything about it. Like, once it's here in the 3D, that's already dead. Like, that's a meal that's already cooked. So no one needs to teach you to manifest. Your whole life is a manifestation of you. You are the technique. You are the transmission. It's you. It's coming from whence? Out of you, out of your state of I am, out of who you say that you are, after what you attach to the end of I am. But if there's fear, lack, or scarcity that is predominating your emotional signal, your heart space, if that's where, if you even think about your manifestation, then immediately anxiety arises about a certain thing. I mean, I remember years ago when I was manifesting money, I would get the money, but then the things I was anxious about taking the money were the exact things that happened. Like, they came together because that was the thought that I had and the emotional association that I had, and that content then created a field where it all came together. So nobody needs to teach you to manifest. You are a master manifester. But your attention has probably been misdirected. And when you do focus on that, here's the thing, bad stuff is usually easy to manifest because you don't want it to happen. So you'll probably think a bunch of bad shit, and then you'll have all these negative emotions that you might be carrying around with you, but you're not then fixated on, I hope it happens, I hope it happens, I hope it happens, I hope it happens. Like, in the same sense that there's this really negative emotional experience that you're having due to the content of those thoughts, there's not a lot of insistence that it needs to happen a certain way. So there's also a level of detachment. So, like, that's the recipe right there, is to know that it's gonna, like, you're already probably doing it in the negative way, to know that it's gonna happen regardless, to have an emotional state that's conducive to that with thoughts that confirm the fact that it's there, that it's done, that that's your state of I am, like, that's all that's happening because that's what you agree to. That's how you do it. You're already doing it. Your attention's just been directed, has been misplaced in negative fantasies and the worst case scenario delusions that you can think of. And that's why you keep living that. So you already know how to do it. You already know how to do it. That's the message today in the Ministry of Assumption Absolute. And I thank you so much for joining me for tonight's transmission. Check out the other stuff, the podcast and the Liberation Chronicle, which is the written word of this ministry. My name is Lucian. Until next time, and remember to be good to yourselves and others, because everybody's just a version of you anyway.